All right, guys, this is a quick review and a video on who is our target market and who do we want to be doing our presentations with and why. You know, the easiest way representatives ask me all the time, Andrew, how do I do better at the job? How do I increase my chances of selling? How do I increase my closing percentage or my average order? Look, the number one way to increase your stats and get better at the job, to have higher chances of selling, the number one way to improve your chances of selling in your presentations is to see the target market. Put yourself in situations that are statistically much higher than, seeing someone in the non-target market, right? You have a much higher chance of selling on those presentations. Okay, and I'll let you guys in before I even start this. Let me give you guys some statistical facts here, okay? And you can write these down. If we see a husband and wife together, okay, we sell on about 70 to 80% of those presentations. Our closing ratio is very high with those because it's an easy no-brainer. The husband and wife are both there with the presentation. They can both talk it over with each other. They can both see the value. In fact, Mr. Jones usually leaves halfway through. He's like, hey, get whatever you want. I get it. They can both see the value. It's an easy conversation. They can pull the trigger on it together. When the husband's not there, okay, and it's just the wife by herself, it's a 60 to 70% closing ratio, which is still very high, but now sometimes you lose a little bit because sometimes Ms. Jones is now going to have to explain why she's spending $13.26 on knives to her husband. He wasn't there for the presentation. He didn't have the value built up for him. He's just going to hear $13.26 and really, really nice knives. And most of the time his answer is going to be no. And there's different things you can do to try to save that. But, that's why it's always great to have the dad there if possible. Now, that's a wife, right? Single mom or divorced mom, right? Or widowed, 40 to 50%. What's the reason for the drop? Well, now they have all the same financial obligations of a family, but with only one income. So it's a little bit less, than our typical percentages if it's a husband and wife. Okay. You see a husband by himself without his wife, 15 to 20%. Closing percentage. We sell on about 15 to 20% of those. 1 out of 5 on average across the company. Single dude, 5 to 10%. Don't even do it. Not even worth your time. And so if you have one of those people, I know you might think, hey, my 28-year-old bachelor that lives, in Brickell or downtown, or he's really rich, he loves to cook, he's going to be a good person to see. Look, don't do a presentation with that person. It's a waste of time. I can tell you, I can promise you it is. Okay, now maybe send them the link to the website. They can buy something from you. If they buy anything, you'll always receive a commission off of it. But I wouldn't do a presentation for that person. I wouldn't waste my time presenting to someone that I know is not in the target market. Just like if I was selling nail salon packages, I would know intuitively I'm not going to show a bunch of single dudes all weekend. It wouldn't make a lot of sense. They don't have anyone they can get it for, and they're probably not going to use it for themselves. So put yourself in front of the target market. It's the easiest way to improve your chances of selling. And our target market is soccer moms. Okay. And when I say soccer moms, I'm not talking about moms that actually have kids that play soccer. I mean, soccer moms, it's mom and dad, they own a home and they have a couple kids. They are a family. They have some kids in middle school and high school or elementary school. Like that is our target market. And there's 3 things, Mac: married, middle-aged, homeowner. Okay. Married. Look, guys, and I just walked y'all through why they want to be married. Okay. But single people don't do a lot of cooking. The reason that we sell to Mac customers is because Mac customers is the only category of people where Cutco products are not a want, they are a need. And it is much easier to sell someone something that they need versus something that they want. When someone's a single person, yeah, they might cook 2 to 3 times, but they don't actually have to cook. They don't have to prepare food for other people. They cook for themselves when they feel like it, when they want to. They don't want to go out to a restaurant or order some Uber Eats. That's the reality of it. It's not a need. For a mom, when she's doing this every day, when she has to cook all the time, Cutco, saving time, saving money, saving energy, that's not a want. That's not like, oh, that'd be nice to have. It's a clear need. So see married people, see people that it's going to be a need, not a want. The second thing, and yes, divorced people can buy Cutco, but married is the market that we hit, right? So second thing is age, middle age, 30 to 65. First off, you don't even get base pay if you show someone underneath the age of 30. Send them the presentation. Don't do a presentation for them. Just send them the link to the website. They can buy from you, but don't do the appointment with their, someone underneath of 30. Because number one, you don't get paid for it. Number two, they're probably not going to buy much anyways. You know, most of the people, like, you know, I'm recording this video, I'm under the age of 30. Y'all shouldn't present to me. I promise you. You shouldn't present to me. I would not be a good customer. You know, and I might be a little bit more better off than most people my age, but I still would not be a good customer because I'm under the age of 30. I don't have kids. I'm not settled down. You know, it's just a different market. So you want to present to people over the 30 because they have a full-time job that's actually steady, stable, consistent, and they're probably cooking a lot more. Under 65, just because, yes, grandma can buy Cutco, but the value of Cutco to a mom that's 40 years old is completely different to grandma when she's 70. She's going to use this stuff for another couple of years, and she's downsizing. You know, people that are 70, 80 years old, they're not usually buying more investments for their home. They're getting rid of stuff. People in their 30s and 40s, that's actually when they're doing the most investing. They're buying things and assets for their house and for their home. Nice furniture, nice pieces, nice fridge, refrigerator, nice appliances. Okay, so see people in the target market, 30 to 65. There's a reason why those people buy. And see, CASA, homeowner, that's the most important by far. Okay, it's important that they're a homeowner. Those are the people that buy Cutco. And it's not because people that live in apartments can't afford it, right? It's you know, it's $286 on the 5-pay. Like anyone, if they rent an apartment, you know, apartment in Miami, it's $1,500 a month. First month, last month security is what is required for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. Not a nice apartment, not one in downtown Brickell or something like that. But anyone can afford apartment could afford Cutco. You know, the challenge is, though, is that they're just not buying investments. It's temporary living. They're not thinking, hey, I should buy a set of knives that should last me 10 to 20 years, because they aren't even thinking about buying a couch that will last them more than a couple years. They're not thinking about a dining room table that's going to last them 10 years. They're not thinking about any of that stuff because they're living in a temporary location, you know. So they're eventually usually saving up for a house before they're actually saving up for assets for their house. Right. So again, people in apartments could afford Cutco, but people that own a home, number one, you know, they can afford Cutco. If they own a home, obviously they can afford a set of Cutco if they want to. Right. But also it's going to be more of a need. It's someone that's something people in a house need, and they're investing in assets for their house or for their home. And they understand that concept. You want to see MAC customers, people that are in our target market. It is the easiest way to improve your chances of selling, especially if you're going out there your first weekend. You know, oftentimes when I find reps that are not doing well with the position, it's because they're not seeing MAC customers. You know, see your MAC customers first, do your best customers first, you know, and make sure that you're seeing people in the target market. They don't need to be like, here's a pop quiz for you. Okay. My 28-year-old bachelor that lives in Brickell that loves to cook. Is he a good customer or a bad customer? He's a bad customer. Not over the age of 30. You know, he's a single dude. And they do that. Here's another example, okay? I got a middle-aged married mom. She hates cooking, and she complains about money all the time, right? Who do I want to rather see? For sure, the married middle-aged mom that lives in a home, because number one, it doesn't matter what she says about money. She lives in a house. She has a home. So we know she can afford something if she really wants to. Okay. Second thing is, even if she hates cooking, a lot of our best customers are people that hate cooking, you know, and because they hate cooking because they have crappy stuff, you know. So you got to keep in mind, MAC customers, no matter what you think their financial situation is, right, will always be better than a non-MAC customer, regardless of what their situation is. Okay. And you got to remember that. You got to make sure you're seeing people in the target market. It is the easiest way to improve your chances of selling on your presentations.